Welcome to another episode of The Pucknologists. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually Pucknology After Dark, but it's the Pucknologists crew for the most part. And of course, they put us on here when the Sharks lose to the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. The score of 7-4. That bums me out. But to let you know, Pucknology After Dark, we're live after every single game here. Please subscribe. Do us a favor. Hit that button right down there. Subscribe. Check us out. Learn what's going on. And hey, if you're not able to watch the show live, you can always download us. We're on Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, and probably several others that I'm not even aware of at this point. But we do have to start off the show with our sponsorship with Audible, because Pucknology After Dark is sponsored by Audible. We partnered with them to offer a free 30-day trial. You can choose from over 180,000 audiobooks and get a free audiobook to keep, whether you choose to continue to use that service or not. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/PAD to sign up. You get a free book, we get a little support, and everyone wins. Audible.com/PAD. Well, boys and girls, we have the first loss of the season. I think if I can probably speak for Ian at this point, trade everyone. It's a loss. Ian, what do you think? Who's the first to go?
Everyone. Just absolutely everyone today. I think Arundel's safe because he was the best Shark dressed by not playing. No, look, I mean, Burnsy had a good night. It wasn't a complete write-off. I mean, at least it got exciting at the end. I was pretty dozy in the first period, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of things that obviously we're going to try and take from this game. So we're going to try and, tell you what's important to take from it and what's not. And the important thing is trade everyone.
And Rocket Backhander, what did you think of tonight's?
Yeah. It's another Tuesday. Okay.
Wow, that was a stellar outlook. I love it.
Yeah, I'm so underwhelmed with this game. I did not know going into it that historically the San Jose Sharks had trouble not only winning in this barn, but scoring in this barn. So I didn't really have too many expectations for this route. And hey, since I set the bar low, right on there. So, whatever.
Well, I mean, typically with a Sharks team, if they put up 4 goals, that's usually something that you can put down a W in the book for that game and move on to the next. So it's a little surprising. For me, as was mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, New York is a young team, so I was hoping that we could take advantage. But then again, they know the Sharks' kryptonite, and that is start your backup goalie. That gives you that
same guy they started against him last year.
Right? That has historically been the, that gives every team like a 50% better chance of winning the game when you go with your backup for some reason. And the fact that his name is Ante, probably didn't help things.
Also, if you have a rookie in your lineup who has yet to score and you're playing the San Jose Sharks, oh yeah, your boy's scoring. He's taking home that puck.
That's that historical measure going through. Jones had some big saves early, and there's a couple things we should touch on off the bat. Burns playing his 800th game, and tonight Pavelski getting his 300th assist. And then Burns starting off the night being the only one who had a -2, and then ends up netting 2 goals. Go figure that out. But let's talk about that first goal. Mark Stahl basically trying to be defended by Bodker. Jones had no chance on that one. He was screened, and the Sharks kind of started off that period slow. If you toss out the penalty or the power play that they had at the beginning of the game, and then, of course, the gift 5-on-3, yeah, that's going to change the shots on goal significantly. But up until that point, I think the Sharks had 6 shots on goal to the Rangers, I believe, 12. So, Ian, did they even look like they were really in the game to begin with?
No, it's funny because I thought that I'd been a big advocate that they had the goaltending reversed because I thought that the Rangers are at least on paper, I think they're the weaker team than the Islanders at this point. You look at they're missing 2 key defensemen. So I thought that this would be an easier game for the Sharks. I know there's no easy games, but I thought this would be the game you would start Dell, you would save Jones for tomorrow against the Islanders, and so I was wrong.
Maybe that was the right play. Maybe they should have went with Dell, or according to the tweet from the Sharks earlier, Odell. I guess he gets Irish when he's on the New York side of the coast. But yeah, I don't know. I felt they started off slow. They weren't getting a lot of shots on net. The ones they were getting, it was the slapper with no follow up, and boom, they're going the other way. Of course, every Sharks power play that I did see tonight, they gave up at least one shorthanded rush going the other way, and going, with those special team stats that I love so much. The Sharks 25%, 1 for 4 on the power play, and New York 1 for 3, and not like tonight. It saving that one power play goal from New York obviously wasn't the difference, although maybe it could have been at that point when the Sharks would have been tied 5 for 5. What did you think of the special teams tonight, Rocket?
They sure were special. Like they came in on a little yellow bus, and they were wearing they had to wear the helmet when they were off their skates. Yeah, there's actually a GPS tracker on them as long as they're not in the state of California. No, dude, just everybody had an off night. Burns made some really costly errors. He had a great night points-wise, but I think he was mentally atoning for all of the major screw-ups he had out there. And there were at least 1 or 2 that cost us a goal, awarded New York a goal. Nobody had a good night. They were just all scrambling to make up for the deficit that they had created. And they really didn't do that well in it. Special teams, you're special, but you ain't the good kind of special.
She makes a great point, and Ian, that's they got eaten up. Well, at least early, they got eaten up in the face-off circle. It started to even out to it ended 43-57 for the Rangers. Already talked about the power play numbers. But she makes some good points. Did anybody have a good night? We know Burns had some brain farts early. He was the first one to get to -2 tonight. Not that that's a huge stat, but
right,
it is significant. But Vlasic had a couple of brain farts that you're not used to seeing from him. Who's the guy that you thought stood out that looked good tonight? Because even Thornton takes that pissed off frustration penalty at the beginning of the third.
Yeah, it was a really weird game. I don't know, Burns. We know what we get with Burns. I know I had kind of on a previous show, I think it was the last After Dark we did. I'd kind of said that Burns had kind of disappointed me coming out of the gate too. Just not overall. I was immediately pointed out he has points, but he needs to put it all together, and I feel like right now he's very much he's like a sword with no handle. He can cut somebody up, but he's probably going to cut you up just as bad.
Well,
and
good. Oof.
That's how I kind of feel about Burns right now. But really, the team came out flat altogether. You saw Peter DeBoer have to go through and really implement the line blender. I haven't seen a line blender that badly since T-Mac was here. It's been a while since we've seen that bad of a line blender where just some of the lines that they're coming was it's like Couture with Nieto and Wingles, and I'm thinking, man, that's just and then
they put Pavelski out there,
right? And I'm like, here, guy, here's 2 pianos to skate around with, have fun.
Whee!
It's just it was weird. It was just a weird game. They came out flat, and then you just had a lot of weird stuff happen. You had Hurdle, who was I want to fight. Wait, no, I don't. And then got killed.
Oh my God! Can we talk about that fight for a sec? Can we even call that a fight?
No.
That was more
it was a Whole Foods parking lot altercation.
Yeah, that was somebody I don't even know bumped maybe accidentally hit the big fat rubber bumper of your car with a cart I mean,
Right.
it was an annoyance. It wasn't a fight by any means. Which also, the fact that Hurdle went straight to the dressing room thinking that he was getting 5,
Right.
it was very funny. Very funny because it's like
He's still got
Hurdle
one
might
glove on.
Hurdle at that point might have been the only one who thought that was a fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
really.
I don't want to call it a mugging because that isn't fair to McElrath.
No.
I think that Hurdle was ready to kind of throw like he was. Hurdle's not a guy who's going to throw down, but he's going to push and shove. He's going to scrum just like anyone else. I just think it was like he's pushed, and then he realized who he was pushing, and then he was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die." And you know what? And you have to credit, as much as you don't want to, you kind of have to credit McElrath there because McElrath could have just destroyed Hurdle from the start. Like, just completely pasted him and didn't wait, made sure that Hurdle knew, like, this is going to happen, Hurdle, but I'm going to make sure that you know this is going to happen first. But it's happening.
Yeah,
And-
you saw Hurdle, like, he like fell down very, very early, and the credit to him, he let Hurdle get up
Yep.
and like get a good look at him and go, okay, we're gonna do this. And it honestly, it looked like he was maybe putting 60% on those punches. Like it was just kind of like I was this close to waiting for him to like just grab Hurdle's wrist and go, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself." That's what it came off as.
Well, yeah, I think and they always say talk about like and you know how much I hate when there's like the respect in the game, but that's an example of the quote unquote code. Every once in a while, it actually makes sense and it's real, and I think in that case it was because Hurdle's not a fighter. Let's not pretend he's any stretch the imagination of fighter.
He's just there to disgrace the league, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And he took his lumps and he came back and he was fine. But I mean, that was just it kind of made me laugh a little bit because you can't really get mad at McElrath like if with the way things went. Like I mean, he gave Hurdle Hurdle kind of started it, realized who he was with, and then that's what happened. But I can't really get mad at him. It wasn't like he mugged Hurdle. Hurdle just pushed the wrong guy.
Oh, absolutely. Oh dear Lord. Just going through some of the numbers. Pavelski, for a team that did kind of look like out of sorts tonight, Pavelski did have a 4-point night, 3 assists and hitting a goal. I believe Burns had, 2 goals and an assist? Or was it just the 2 goals?
That was the assist. I think on the.
Who got credit with the
goal,
last
wasn't
one?
it?
Pavelski, yeah. Burns, yeah. So 2 goals and an assist, yeah. Burns and Hurdle, yeah. So, yeah, I'm still just... the other thing I kind of want to address... Now, look, I'm not one of those guys who's just... I mean, well, okay, maybe I was when Niemi was in net, but he deserved it, let's be honest. But I don't know. I felt like Jones on a couple of those early. I think the second and the third goal. The second one...
The third one for sure.
Yeah, well, for me, the second one where just kind of it bounces behind the net and Nash just tucks it under his leg. I mean, to me, that's something that 9 times out of 10, Jones is he's gonna stop that. He's gonna see that coming, whether he's gonna poke check it or where he's gonna have that leg flat, but it's not getting under him. But the third one, absolutely. That just reminded me of Dan Boyle's retirement ceremony not too long ago, where he's like, "Nabby, you got to hug that post," and I felt like it was a little bit. You got to hug that post, but I think maybe
He needed to challenge that shot. He cheated on the shot. He should have challenged it. He should have came out of the net more.
But give credit to Kreider. I mean, it was a little bit of a snipe, but Jones did him a favor.
Kreider was the best Ranger on the ice tonight by far. I don't think it was
He
close.
got the 3rd star.
Yeah, and
I
let's be honest. How many times have you heard those words spoken?
Yeah, no, I thought Kreider was like the good. He was the best Ranger on the ice in my opinion, most of that game. Yeah, I think there's a part of it where definitely Jones needs to be better there. I think that like you said, yeah, Jones needs to be a little more on the post, but that puck shouldn't bounce back out in front of the net to Nash either without and Nash shouldn't just be able to sit there and bang that home with nothing happening to him. That was the problem. Was the defense was really, really, really lackluster tonight. Again, the team was flat, and the defense was a perfect example of how flat that was. And they got a little victimized. I know I was making fun of Paul Martin there. I think it was the fourth or fifth goal where, and the puck took a funny bounce. And I know this, guys. On Twitter tonight, I was being a little bit ridiculous on purpose just because the game was kind of boring and annoying me, so I had to try and amuse myself in other ways. So I did say some things on Twitter where I wasn't completely, 100% meaning what I said.
You were trolling for trolls.
Yeah, I don't know if I was trolling. I was just trying to lighten the mood. I don't think I was trolling. I wasn't trying to make anyone angry. I was just trying to lighten the mood.
Yeah. And you know me, I love to bang on the special teams drum. I didn't think their power play tonight looked particularly impressive, even on the 5-on-3. Yeah, even on the 5-on-3, I didn't think it was that great, and I still don't think their penalty kill has looked all that great. They gave up a lot of shorthanded chances. But with that, I mean, I don't know how much more there is to kind of like beat in the ground on this one.
What would you think of Kreider running over Dylan and then breaking his knee?
Well, hold on. Are we talking the knee-on-knee hit that Dylan went to the box for?
Yeah.
I think Randy or Baker mentioned it in the broadcast that Dylan looked like he kind of panicked and moved his knee out there to just try to slow him down a little bit. I thought it was a good call. We saw what knee-on-knee shots can do. Hello, Dustin Brown, Tomas Hertl, but I felt like Dylan. I can't talk about the Sharks and not find a reason to dump on Dylan, it seems like. And so it wasn't great. And not to mention the fact that he's making like $1 million more than Schlemko, and Dylan played 13:30 tonight and Schlemko played 17. Now, obviously, you can say, well, Dylan was in the box for like a minute and a half on his penalty, but still, he was still dragging down the TOI tonight. Burns and Vlasic, 24, 50, and 23 respectively.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to get from those guys. What was
the forward time on ice like? Who was the bottom of the forward time on ice?
Would you care to venture a guess? Because I bet you hit it.
Wingles is down there for sure.
Yep, he's your guy. No, it's Wingles at 8:30. Tierney getting 11:24. Carlson 10:37. So
sounds about right.
Yeah, and it makes you now. This isn't the Sharks coaching staff of old who would have one bad game and throw everybody's name into a hat and say we have to change all the lines now. But what do you think? It's pretty obvious that the broadcast crew, we've discussed it before, we're all pretty much of the opinion that Dell is definitely going to go tomorrow. If you would have spoke to Ian Reed 3-4 days ago, you spoke to Hockey Jerk, they all thought that Dell actually would have started tonight.
Yeah, that he should have.
I completely agree. But with the besides Dell going tomorrow, Rocket, do you see any change? Do you see Haley getting in, Carpenter getting in? I mean, I know, and not like the Islanders require that, but it's more of a case of that they didn't like maybe something that they saw from one of the guys on the fourth line. Who else is out there besides Haley and Carpenter? Who's the third one? DeMello. So DeMello's okay. So for some reason, do you either see any lineup changes tomorrow? I mean, or I should say line shuffles, or do you think that for some reason Carpenter gets a look tomorrow?
I'm honestly, I don't understand why Carpenter's even up. To be completely honest, I don't know.
This has nothing to do with salary or anything.
That's what I was gonna say.
If it was salary, why would he need to be up? Like that doesn't make any sense to me to have him up.
I think that they're probably going to keep the same lines because it almost feels like they coasted through this game and were going to take the loss because they knew if they kind of kept their energy, they had a chance of getting through tomorrow. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I'm never one to. I got a couple thoughts here. So let me go back to my Carpenter thought. I don't know why Carpenter's up. Like, you would just think like a guy like that. I know that the Barracuda have this stupid schedule where I don't think they play again until next May. Um, it's really that bad. There's like a week, I think, like a week and a half between their games or something stupid like this.
And
So
Bessie
maybe
already
that's-
has like 2 goals on them already too.
Right,
Jeez.
yeah, and I'm wondering like if that's why Carpenter's up so that they can keep him with the team. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, you would think that he'd be better off playing on the Barracuda, but since the Barracuda aren't actually playing games, I guess it makes sense to have him up.
Yeah.
And then to kind of go on to tomorrow. Look, I'm never one to like guys know I don't like excuses, but they started off the season on the road. This is tomorrow's going to be their 3rd game in 4 nights. I mean, that's hard. Right out of the gate like that. That's a hard road trip to start the season on. You're not in mid-season form yet. You're still, and so I think fatigue probably was a little bit of a factor tonight. Now,
And it's also on the East Coast versus saying doing 3 of 4 in Western Canada.
Yeah, like I've done that times. Like I lived on the West Coast for a while, and then when I'd come home, like I would just be destroyed. That was the worst. Like, going out was fine, coming back was the worst. So that's my own personal experience, and I'm not even remotely in 60th in shape as these guys are. So I think that there's a factor that needs to be said there, that there's probably fatigue playing a role here. And I don't like that excuse, but it does kind of explain some of the flatness. And I think time. It's the 3rd game of the season. I saw a lot on Twitter tonight about, look like the Sharks just haven't solved the fast teams, and I think it's too soon to just say stuff like that. Like, we don't. Yeah, obviously tonight wasn't a great sign of how the Sharks are going to do against fast teams, but it's game 3. Talk to me in game 20, and we'll decide how the Sharks are playing against fast teams and how over the season is already.
Well, it's still very, let's not pull the ripcord just yet. It's still way, way early.
Game over, man. Game over.
3rd game out of 82, plus a compacted season, a compacted training camp because of the tourney, a couple new faces. I still go back to, but I totally get what Ian's saying, but you're going to get destroyed on some of the travel. I don't know. I expected them to be a little bit better out of the gate, especially considering how well they did on the road last year. But then again, that was last year, and this is this year, and there's a reason why you have different seasons. But we'll see how they come out of the box tomorrow against the Islanders. I expect them to definitely to change it up a little bit. Obviously, Dell will be in net, but I expect a team to have a little bit more energy and hopefully a little bit more cohesiveness. Oh, dear Lord.
And if Dell has a bad game, can we not all panic?
Oh, my God.
No, it's going to be the end of the world. It's going to be the end of the bloody world.
If he lets
do it for Ian.
I can just see, like, if he lets in 2 goals on, like, the first 8 shots, it's going to be, I can't believe we got rid of Reimer. We let Reimer go, and it's everybody jump off a cliff. Or it's going to be like, and then it's going to be like, did somebody get Grossnick? Somebody get Grossnick on the line. No. Especially if when's the next time we play in Carolina? Get Grossnick up here.
Yeah. That's the game we need him.
Right? Oh. So is there it's
Moral in the chat, I can't believe we got rid of Niemi.
Oh, man. Hey, isn't Alex Dalek still on waivers? We can get him.
Yeah, right?
Come back out.
Lord.
We miss you.
He's in Iowa, I think.
Oi.
Aye.
It's so. There hasn't been a whole lot on the chat, and not a whole lot on Twitter that I've seen. Like, this may be the shortest Pucknology in history. Really, is there much to cover? Any more to cover on tonight's loss? It's just good. We're so early in the season right now.
It's hard.
Yeah. Anything going on around the league that you've noticed besides? Have they made? Is Connor McDavid like in the running yet to be Prime Minister of Canada, or is it already like just been anointed?
No, actually, because there's this Austin Matthews kid who scored 4 goals. So we're currently carving out his spot in the Hall of Fame when he goes in 20 years or so. Just making sure it's all nice and pristine and ready to go.
Yeah, you have to wait until they have time to
So-
move that whole
Parade
little
routes are being planned, I think.
They have to get rid of that Gretzky display.
Yeah, get that Gretzky guy. Who's that Gretzky guy?
I'm surprised y'all don't start their mausoleums while they're still alive. You know what I mean? Like, the pharaohs of ancient Egypt used to start their tomb as soon as they became famous. Like, you just need to get on that because that's gonna be like he's gonna be like King Tut Canadian style Wayne Gretzky. Can't just put him 6 feet in the ground with a piece of granite over him. No way. Anyway, way off topic. Sorry, there's literally nothing to talk about.
I'm surprised they just won't, cotton ball his ass and put him on a statue in front of Rogers Place.
Oh, jeez.
So in other news tonight, there's been like little smatterings of news.
There's only 3 other games tonight, right?
Yeah. Rest in peace, General Fanager, for all people who like General Fanager.
Wait, whoa, what?
Also, congratulations, Las Vegas, for your new
Yes.
stats manager.
Hold on,
Yes.
no. What? With General Fanager?
General
He did a
Fanager
job.
is no more. The gentleman who runs General Fanager was hired by the Las Vegas franchise today.
Get out of town. Now, I could have seen that, like him being hired by the NHL to like maintain that site, but oh my god.
He works for the Vegas team now. He's their director of something.
So has anybody taken up the mantle? I mean,
Cap friendly.
Cap friendly, but
Cap friendlies would be my advice for anyone who's looking for a new cap.
what was the original one that was so badass a year or so ago? Cap Geek, yeah, and nobody's kind of like taken up that mantle, huh? I mean, or like even gotten a hold of that URL or anything.
Well, so Cap Geek, the gentleman who ran Cap Geek actually passed away from cancer.
Yeah.
So everyone left that alone.
Well, I was just surprised no one like maybe took it over and like kept it going, just kind of like to also honor the guy because I mean, holy crap, did he do it?
He didn't. I don't think he wanted my understanding was he had been offered for the site and he just didn't want it. Like that was kind of his thing. Like he just wanted it to not be changed after he was gone.
Oh, that's cool. Well, we are live, and I'm so used now to doing like the podcast. We might as well just go around the league real quick. Red Wings are up 4 as we're talking. Red Wings are up 4-1 with 3:45 left in the third. So Red Wings looking like they're going to get their first win of the season. I still don't think they make the playoffs.
It's Ottawa. I'm not super impressed.
Yeah, exactly. Bruins up 2-1 right now. 16:30 left in the third. And the Avalanche beat the Penguins in overtime tonight. So good looking out, Avs.
Who scored
Avalanche
the
are my
winning?
team to watch.
Who scored the OT winner? Does it say?
Let's
Is
see
it Iggy?
where's my box score. Let's check it out. OT winner is
Landeskog.
Gabriel Landeskog.
Oh, okay.
And as we say whenever that happens, good for you.
Good for you.
So good job. And if you play with overtime or game-winning goals in your fantasy hockey, hope you had Landeskog.
Truth.
Yeah, right?
Fact.
So, and remember, the fantasy hockey show from Pucknology, I'm assuming, is going to be making its debut any day now.
Oh, because that's exactly, we need another show.
Exactly.
I just want to make sure that there's no craziness going on. I think it's going to be, we're going to just have a show every night of the week, and it's going to be something different and exciting, and no, we're not doing that.
Puck Guy is going to have like a teal-themed Wheel of Fortune game show
Right.
/ trivia.
Yeah.
Like every Wednesday.
No, the trivia game's going to be the slushy show.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Slurpee Jack's
This is
Wheel
turning
of
into-
Fame.
Dude, this is turning into a San Jose Sharks version of UHF. Like, it's just an entire public access of Sharks programming.
I'm kidding. I know, we put out more stuff than they do. This is ridiculous.
What can we say? We're easy.
Yeah. And of course,
How do you guys feel actually out there in the chat right now? Like if you're on the audio stream, like are we just overwhelming at this point with all our awesome content, or are we just right?
Yeah, no, I would actually venture to say that we might be it might be a little overwhelming. But the thing is that the Pucknologists, we try to fill that niche where it's like if you only have the chance to listen once a week to try to get caught up on what happened, we try to fill that hole. The writers' room tries to fill that kind of hole of cover some Sharks, but also give a bigger picture of around the league. And then the other thing is this, silliness, just kind of, after every show, heat of the moment, nerves are raw. Let's be honest, this might be the soberest I've ever been for a Pucknology After Dark. Because usually after a loss, I'm like, oh my God, I'd be here going, oh, Brendan Dillon is a piece of I'd be going off but I'd be hanging out the defense, a lot of the defense, and like I said, you could tell Joe Thornton seemed like he was just fuck this shit when he took that penalty. Like he that was a frustration penalty without a doubt. And he's just like, he was just like, I want to sit down, but I don't want to sit. I don't want to sit down next to these yahoos that I'm out here. So I'm going to go sit.
Let me sit.
Yeah, I'm going to go sit in that private box and have some alone time for 2 minutes because these guys are pissing me off. I'm 30. I'm 37 for Christ's sake. Get it together.
Oh, you're such an old man at 37. Me.
So do the Sharks bounce back tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean, just
loud.
yeah. No,
okay.
I think historically, that they've typically done well on back to back. When they lose the first one, they usually come back a little bit. I'm sure there'll be an optional tomorrow, and that the fourth line had better show up for.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll cancel it and violate the CBA and just demand to have a practice.
Oh,
I
snap.
like it.
Did you guys hear about that?
No, bring it
No,
on.
what?
So yesterday, after Edmonton's loss, CBA basically mandates how many days off you're supposed to
Right.
get, and Todd McClellan said that they were going to have a practice anyway, even though. So I guess the NHLPA is looking into it now, trying to decide what to do about the Oilers having to have an extra practice, which they looked awful yesterday.
Well, hold on. Did they actually practice hockey, or did McClellan hide a can of polish somewhere that they all had to find the polish?
No, they had a practice. They had a full skate where they're supposed to have a day off. So I guess the PA is looking into it. I'm sure by the end of the week we'll have the whole story, and I'm sure we'll go through it on the writers' room because so far it's been quiet. But Sleepy Mofo, I agree, man. I thought they're gonna go 82-0. I'm really upset right now. I don't know. The streak's
I have
over.
a question. What about last year? Didn't Detroit go something like 18, 17, 18 consecutive wins? Some ridiculous
Not
number
last
like
year.
that.
Last
Was
year
it?
they're
Or-
terrible. Well, they were terrible.
No,
before, but-
okay, maybe it wasn't last year. Maybe it was the year we didn't make playoffs.
Yeah,
One
I
of
think
those
it was.
years, they had a ridiculously, it was almost the most any team had ever gotten consecutive wins ever. I think it was
Yeah, but I also, I think part of that too was also their schedule. It wasn't wasn't the toughest during that
my
time.
point
I mean,
is-
not every game's a gimme, but
I know.
come on.
My point is that as glorious and grand as that moment was, when playoffs started, second, third round, it didn't matter. So even though the Sharks didn't go 3-0, I don't think this hurts the team in the long run. So I'm not
this
upset.
is a fast team. They lost, which means they can't beat Pittsburgh, which means they can't beat the Cup, which means you have to cancel the season right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell.
Just throw it in the towel.
Yeah.
Well,
Burn
I
it
guess
down.
I'm going to have to be a Preds fan.
Yeah, maybe, right?
I like PK Subban.
Burn it down.
He's fun. But yeah, burn it all down.
All
No,
right.
I think they bounce back tomorrow. But let's be honest, the game that you really want to, I think you would talk to just about any Sharks fan would say, you know what, go ahead and lose to the Rangers in the Isles as long as you beat Pittsburgh on Thursday.
Thank you, Hockey Jerk, for the answer. He says, the 92-93 Penguins have the record for consecutive wins with 17. So
Nice.
There you go.
I think the Wings had either 16 or tied at 17.
Well, I think this is going to be the season we finally see Detroit, spiral a little bit. This is going to be, what are we on, 26 straight seasons of making the playoffs? I don't think they get to 27.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Whether it's 26 or 27, either way, I don't think they make that number this April.
Oh, I mean, they're a mess. I mean, you lose 2 prospects for nothing, so you can keep Steve Ott. Like for a guy who's always been like, Ken Holland always been like the GM, like that was the guy that everyone should aspire to be, and I don't know what's going on with him lately because.
Well, and those other, Zetterberg is getting to be an old man, and it kind of does bum. I mean, well, it doesn't bum me out that they're not going to make the playoffs, but I'm a big Dylan Larkin fan.
Yeah,
and
me too.
And to see him have to play through that is just like oof. But Hockey Jerk letting us know, yes, if they made it this year, it would be their 26th, and guess what? They're staying right at 25.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why Hockey Jerk is a pucknologist.
That's right, baby. Jeez, yeah, like I said, this could be the shortest pucknology ever. I mean, what has it been, like 25, maybe 30 minutes?
Are we really starting at that? I can stay on all night. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Right?
She said.
Yeah. Okay, so hit us up on at Pucknology, or the hashtag Pucknology After Dark. And in fact, you know what? I did kind of screw this up a little bit. I should have all this promotion and everything like that. And the one thing that I did not do is throw out the Twitter handles. So I am at AJ_strong. Mr. Reed.
At I read Pucknology, Reed spelled REID, like my last name.
And Rocket.
R Backhander 76.
So there you go. And
This is Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb doesn't
What
have
up,
a Twitter.
Caleb?
He doesn't have a Twitter account yet.
He doesn't have a Twitter account. This is true.
Yes, but I'm sure it's coming.
He's going to take over Dan Rusanowski's job.
In fact, actually, you know what? I take that back. He's at angrycanadiansun.com.
That's right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just the Sharks, like I said, it felt like there was a to kind of paraphrase the great Drew Remenda, too many passengers tonight, not enough drivers.
It's very, very, very politically correct of you.
All right, we're gonna quote the great one, Drew Remenda. Too many passengers. So yeah, I hope they get it going tomorrow. Like I said,
it's so hard. Like when you're this like close to like into the season, like there's nothing. I mean, there's no trends yet. It's so hard to say anything without it just being like, I mean, we could give you an hour of hot takes that we can go back and laugh at, a week down the road when we have real kind of things to work with and where we can kind of start saying, okay, these are actually issues. Tonight was just an off game, and I'm hoping that's all it was.
Yeah. I do wonder if, and I'm sorry to keep beating that drum, but, I'm like a pit bull with a chew toy. I wonder if Dylan is going to continue to lead the Sharks in least amount of ice time for defensemen. I'm going to see if that becomes a trend. Because, that's... you're paying the guy $3.2 million, and the guy who's beating him for more than 3.5 to 4 minutes of ice time every night, you're only paying 2.1. So it just goes back to that whole being bad at drafting being defensemen. Well, that and consider Vegas, because consider DeMello at what 800,000 or something like that would probably play the same amount of minutes. And maybe he doesn't take a kneeing penalty tonight. Goddamn, because Dylan was in the box for one of the goals against.
Whatever. I agree with Hockey Jerk in the chat that he is not going to see the press box, and you need to make like Elsa, bruh, and let it go.
All right, we'll let it go, but let it go. But if it does happen, oh man, I'm gonna be like,
ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna
all right,
happen.
we'll see. Is there anything else that we really need to touch? I know this is a really short show, but
I apologize. It's
well, you know what? I mean,
Ian, it was your fault. The whole on-ice performance of the team tonight, they're like, fuck that Canadian. We're just going to fuck up out there.
Well, I mean, even if we won, like, we'd have even less to talk about, because then it'd be like, yeah, we won again, but we don't know anything.
Well, I mean, Ian...
Except for those first 3 minutes where the Sharks were flat-footed, I don't know about it, even though we won 7-2.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ian hit it on the head, that there's, like, really no trends to talk about yet. There's all that stuff. I mean, we could just Ray Ratto this bitch and be like, just win the game.
Just win the game.
Just win the game,
just
man.
Score on the power play. God. Just don't get scored on the PK.
No,
Yeah, I mean, come on. You look at that final score. If the Sharks had gone, 100% on the PK, we'd be watching overtime right now. I mean, just win the game. Just go 100% on your power play. Come on. What the hell's wrong with you guys?
Right. If you can't control the play for every minute of all 82 games, I mean, what good are you?
Hey, oh shit. Okay, you gotta hold on. Okay, now this pisses me off. Okay, Hockey Jerk.
I was waiting for you to see that.
Hockey Jerk in the chat saying if Dylan does get demoted or left off for a game and DeMello comes in, he's holding on to some things for me. He will personally hand deliver it to my place. If I have to wait for that long to see that stuff, I'm going to be very agitated. I'm hoping to see that stuff like maybe, I don't know, tomorrow. At Sharks Ice. But anyway, I digress. Damn, and now I had a point to make, and now I've lost my train of thought just because of damn Hockey Jerk on that. You son of a bitch.
Hey.
Sleepy Mofo saying it's still early, but he would say that Dylan is on a short leash. See, that's the way I feel too, especially when you're making that money. God damn, I totally had something I was going to throw out there.
Here's the deal, though. Like, you take him off the ice, he's still making that much money.
That's true.
Yeah, but he's not costing the team on the ice, only in the pocketbook.
No,
he's in the term of things, he has not costed the team on ice enough to warrant just costing them in the pocketbook. Look at that kid. He's adorable.
We now are featuring nudity on Pucknology After Dark. This is fantastic. And you thought the language was grass.
You thought the language was offensive.
Geez, yeah, I swear to God, there was something else that popped in my head for a second, and now totally left. But yeah, nothing else for you guys that you want to consider or look towards.
I do have a trend. I found a trend.
We found a trend.
The Sharks have not won a cup since Puck Guy's been running things. So, just saying.
Wow.
Son of a bitch.
If you look hard enough, you can find a trend.
That's right. I also want to blame SJ Sharkey for tonight.
Oh, sure. I think we blame him for every loss.
Hey, look at 25 years, one constant, SJ
Right?
Sharkey.
Absolutely. So actually, you know what? No, he was the team started before he was introduced. They played
True.
for like 4 months, and then they finally introduced him. But
In
anyway,
January. His birthday is January 21st.
He's still the constant.
yeah. And Sleepy Mofo blaming Puck Guy and George Shorthouse. Have you ever seen Puck Guy and John Shorthouse in the same room at the same time?
Never.
No.
I'm just saying. Think about that for a minute. Think
Never.
about that.
I blame Niemi. This is all Anna Niemi's fault.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Sharks are undefeated against the West. Just good point.
Hey.
right. Trends all over this bitch.
All right, look at. See, we could have had a whole show of all these trends to talk about.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh dear Lord.
We're the worst.
Yeah.
Houston sucks.
We need to put this out of its misery, I think.
Oh, Jim Houston does not. Jim Houston does not suck. Bite your tongue. I enjoy his call. I enjoy his call. Are either of you enjoying the free Center Ice preview?
There's a Center Ice preview? I always watch on my computer. And my game center's not working, and it's really pissing me off.
Well, at least in my neck of the woods on, I'm assuming Comcast, at least in the Bay Area, I'm assuming Comcast is doing anybody who can get those packages. But yeah, they typically, it's like first weekend of football, they do the free preview. I think it's like the first 3 weeks of hockey, the first 2 weeks of baseball or whatever. They do the free preview to suck you in the whole drug, the first one's free type of thing.
Right.
So,
then next thing you know, you're doing Center Ice off a hooker in a bar.
Ooh. Wow, things went sideways, didn't they?
Yeah.
I gotta go to those kind of bars more often.
Right?
Once it happens.
Quit hanging out at these Mormon bars.
Gotcha. So I think the bigger question here is...
Sorry.
Really? It's the Mormon one? Because it's the Amish ones for me. But
Yeah.
I'm just...
Well, see, I grew up in the Valley, in Modesto, and there's a lot of, there's a big Mormon sect there. So if you grew up on some other place, then yeah. But no, yeah.
Okay, so now here's the bigger question.
Okay.
Here's the big question. The $24 bazillion question.
You are not the father.
Now, do we see Thomas Grice in net for the Islanders tomorrow? I mean, do we see a backup for that? Have they figured out, oh, that's right, that's the Sharks' kryptonite. 50% better chance of winning if we go with the backup.
Yeah. Except if
Is
the
it Grice or
Sharks play-
Halak tomorrow?
It's Halak.
If they play their backup against our backup, it's canceled though.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yes.
I see. It's like two. Yeah, it's like when you fit the
wrongs
two
make a right.
magnets. Well, when
Yeah.
like if you have like two magnets, there's always that one spot where you try to push them together and they
they
just
go,
won't touch. Yeah,
Yep. That's
that must
exactly
be
it.
Yeah,
I'm going
Okay.
with two wrongs make a right.
That
there you
too.
go. And so do three lefts.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
No, we'll
All
be
right.
fine. Look, they're gonna start Halak tomorrow because like the Sharks. It's not like the Sharks. It's like the middle of last year where the Sharks are kind of like haplessly just kind of floating around. Like they're defending Western Conference champs. We're not gonna just see a bunch of backup goaltenders. I don't think.
But wouldn't that be funny if they're like just a stretch, like 5 games in a row of backup, and people going,
It is our kryptonite.
There was last season, I believe. There was something like 4 games in a row where we saw backup goaltenders.
Right, but we were helpless at that point. Like the Sharks were not good at that point in time.
It doesn't matter. It still
does
matter.
It's
You
just-
start
Let
your
me-
backup against shitty teams.
Let me guess. That was right after, because Doug Wilson loves to talk about it. That was right after the 3 consecutive wins versus L.A., Anaheim, and Chicago at the end of January
I remember
in
those
2014.
games. That
No,
game in January was good.
Or 2015.
15.
Yeah. No, I'll just never forget that. They had the optimism in the air after beating L.A., Anaheim, and Chicago consecutively to end January, and then 3 out of 13 wins in February, none of them on home ice. Oh, it was a tired.
Sleepy asked a question. He's like, is it due to the World Cup that the Sharks are kind of fumbling around? And I don't think
I think
so.
a little bit.
I mean, I'm sure it has a little bit of a factor, but like some of these lines have been playing together for ever. How long has Thornton and Pavelski been together?
Well, and the funny thing is, like, Tierney, Marlowe, and Ward saw some time.
Yeah.
But the funnily enough, to me, the best line tonight was Couture, Donskoy, and Bodker.
Yeah.
Now, that's not saying a whole lot, but
Yeah, no.
but I do think it was the best line, and I think I said it on either a past PAD or Pucknologist. That's the line I'm most excited about because the top defensive pairs are going to be facing the Thornton line. So I'm really excited to see what Couture, Donskoy, and Bodker bring because they are going to get a shit ton of chances. So let's see what they bring. But they've got to find that chemistry. They got to click. But I think it's coming together pretty.
We saw
quick.
the other side of that tonight, though, too. Like they're good, but if the Bodker needs to be sheltered a little bit, especially on the defensive end, and we saw what happens when he's not sheltered on the defensive end. Then things go very wrong very quickly.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree that had John Scott still been in Teal, the Sharks would have gone 82-0 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag legend.
Gen
Right.
X on the Twitter machine just reminding us that this is year 2 of DeBoer. We already had our one good year with DeBoer. It's all downhill from here.
That's true. I think we should have replaced DeBoer with Lurg.
Berg.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so there you have it. I think Gen X hit it right on the head.
Yeah, that guy. Okay, do you think we're done with this?
I
This
think
is silly.
we've dragged this
Scott
out
movie.
admirably.
Yeah.
I think we've admirably dragged out the closing of the show for a good whatever minutes it's been. I think we've been entertaining. Are you not entertained, people? Do I need to start pulling out the memes?
Come
Right.
on, we've had BBs.
If the show wasn't long enough for you tonight, you can at I read Pucknology. You can hear that the kid in the background is going to have him up for probably the next hour to 90 minutes, so he'll be online if you want to bother him.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I like
Yeah.
to say funny things on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, at some point after this is over, I'm probably going to either tune into a playoff baseball game or look at what's going on Monday Night Football. So I'll be available. I don't know what Rocca's doing. She's probably getting stoned and going to a bar or off San Pedro. So,
God damn it! How did you? Yeah. Except for not getting.
She prepped for the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I wake up medicated.
I don't know if we see Carpenter. Honestly, I still, again, I don't understand even why Carpenter's even with the roster.
Yes, tweet at Hockey Jerk too, because he's awake and you know what? Challenge him because he knows a lot, and you'll be hard pressed to find a subject that he cannot at least give you a vague answer to. Like he doesn't BS anything, and he knows everything. It's creepy.
It does. Who's the captain of the CUDA right now? Is it Carpenter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that also makes me kind of wonder. But I mean, but like Ian.
McCarthy.
Oh, no, I thought it was Carpenter. Hockey Jerk.
You're right.
Who's the captain?
Right. It's McCarthy.
Oh, it's McCarthy. Okay.
Yeah.
So either way, yeah, no, with the maybe it's just trying to get Carpenter some time with the club. I think Ian probably nailed it with that. But do you think that we see Carpenter and who's the other guy that's up right now? DeMello, Carpenter, and who?
Haley.
Do you think we see Carpenter and Haley down once like Timonucleosis is over and LeBanc is like,
See, I'm fine with. I'm fine. I don't want LeBanc up because LeBanc isn't going to push his way far enough up the lineup where it's going to be worth having him up. He's much better. He's good. Like LeBanc's good, but he's going to be so much better with this Barracuda time under his belt. Like that line with him, I think it was him, Chartier, and Goldobin was just stupid. It was fun to watch. Like that Barracuda game the other night that I watched was really it was fun to watch. I mean the defense was trash, but it was when the puck was in the offensive zone though it was fun to watch, and then when the puck went into the Barracuda zone it was generally awful. But that's what I think we're going to expect from the Barracuda this year.
Okay, who? All right, Rocket. Who's the first one to be a healthy scratch? First Shark.
The first Shark to be a healthy scratch is going to be number 7.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Wow. Interesting. That's a bold pick.
Now,
I'm not going to go with number 4 because that seems, obvious for me. No, boy, I'm torn between 57 and 68 right now.
I can say 68.
No 83, eh?
Well, you know what? 83 has looked a little. We should probably, for people watching this, they're all, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Nieto, you know what? I think the Long Beach thing. I think that holds some cachet with the Sharks. They love that California Long Beach kid. No, I'm kidding.
He wiggles his way into the action a lot more than Carlson does. Like,
well, I thought Nieto and also had a very good preseason. So maybe that'll hold a little bit. I thought he actually did have a decent game tonight. Boy, Carlson or Wingles?
Maybe Pete just doesn't like Tommy, Kind of the same way they didn't want Ben Smith and they just sort of squeezed him out.
That's true. Ian Reed, is Tommy Wingles just a better Ben Smith by not a lot?
To me, Tommy Wingles is a poor man's Timo Meyer. Look, I mean, if they could do something with Wingles, I think they would. Like he's clearly, not in the plans for Peter DeBoer. Peter DeBoer is only playing him because they have nowhere else to put him. It's kind of like Dylan. He's too expensive to sit in the press box. Although I actually think Peter DeBoer likes Brendan Dillon. Tommy Wingles is too expensive to sit in the press box. Yeah. Period. You can't waste that kind of cap space in the press box. You can't send him down because you're still going to have $1 million something counting towards the cap if you send him to the AHL. They need to get rid of him, and I think they don't want to lose him for nothing. Which, fine, whatever. You don't want to lose Nieto for nothing. You didn't sign Nieto to that contract just to give him away for nothing. So I think that Wingles. I feel like if they could move Wingles, they'd have done it, but they probably overvalue him a little bit, and they're not getting the value for Wingles that they want. And that's complete speculation. I'm obviously up here in Canada. I don't have like a secret tapping system into Doug Wilson's phones. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's a
well,
lie.
and to address all the yahoos in the Google chat giving me shit about preseason, I understand preseason isn't regular season. I think I spent all preseason saying that preseason isn't regular. I get that. But if you have a very good preseason, that can be the difference between, you know, staying with the club or being sent down. Not that Nieto would be sent down, but you get the gist of it. It can make a little bit of a difference. So just mellow the fuck out, would you? Thank you.
It'll be interesting. I think when Timo is healthy, to see what they do with Timo, because I think I think they honestly want to have a look at him in the NHL level. I think that had he not gotten, you know, Timo nucleosis, that he'd be on this team right now.
How is that hashtag not trending?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I think that if he was healthy, he would be on the team right now. I honestly believe that, based on just, I mean, the guy can play. The guy can flat out play. He impressed the hell out of me. I know the Q's not the best league in the CHL. In fact, it's probably the worst. But it's still, like, you know, he still did really well there. He did really well in the Memorial Cup, I thought. You know, rookie camp, he looked really good in the rookie camp by all accounts. I mean, I wasn't there, but people tell me good things, and people I trust tell me good things. So, you know, based on all of that, I have a hard time believing that he wouldn't be in the opening night roster had he been healthy. Like, he'd have to really blow it to be not on the roster. He'd have to Goldobin it up.
Oh, I'll be using that as a verb in the near future. I like that. Okay, so let's wrap up this shit show.
For real this time.
Yeah, for real.
Right.
So the Ian wants to burn the shit down because the Sharks are not 3-0. They are now 2-1. So
They can't
burn
be
it all down.
82-0. What's the point? I mean, if you can't have a perfect season in the NHL, then what the hell's the point?
Yeah, just wave the white flag. Wait till next October. So, Sleepy Mofo blaming the Pucknologist for Timo's mono. Hey, it's not my fault if Rocket, you know, hit in the back of the wrong car. I can't.
Look at Rocket has been on the mono train forever. If you go back and listen to some old Teal Tinted Glasses episodes, she's been on the mono train a long time. It's
Yeah,
like
but she's been wishing it on Calgary players, though.
It's her go-to
The
diagnosis.
entire team.
It's her go-to diagnosis.
I like it. I enjoy it. So with that, don't forget, do us a favor, people. Please hit that little cool subscribe button down there, or maybe it's over there. I'm not sure. They keep moving it around on me. But if you could, hit that subscribe button. Not only here on the YouTube channel, remember you can find audio versions of this, along with the Pucknology Writers Room and the Pucknologist on SoundCloud, Twitter. Yeah, that too, but SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, probably one that you're not even aware of.
LinkedIn, OkCupid, Grinder.
Yep, all those. Fun fact, when you swipe
FarmersOnly.com.
yeah, when you swipe left on Kevin Kurz, you get us. It's weird. I don't know how that turns out. So but
Bingle.
yeah, right, that too. Christian Mingle.
J-Date. Woo woo.
Amish. Okay, we need to stop this. We have to
There
stop
would be an
this.
Amish website. That's an oxymoron.
Exactly. That was the whole point of it. Okay, so we're live after every post game. Like I said, hit this. Oh my God, we need to get the hell out of here. All right, he's at I read Pucknology REID on the Twitter machine. She's at R Backhander 76. I'm at AJ_strong on the Twitter machine.
Respect the underscore.
Respect that underscore. We will be live. Somebody, it probably won't be me or any of these other two goofballs.
I think we're out of the family from here on. Like right after we get off the air.
I think right after we get off the air
in the ocean.
Dude, right after we get off the air, they're going to be changing the passwords to this account. So we'll be on the air. Somebody will be on the air tomorrow, immediately following Sharks at the New York Islanders. Thomas Greiss will probably get the start, let's be honest. But this episode of Pucknology After Dark, just like every other one, sponsored by Audible.com. With our affiliate link, you can get a free 30-day trial. They have a huge selection of awesome books like Mr. Hockey from Gordie Howe, 1984, and Lord of the Rings. Go to audibletrial.com/PAD to sign up. You get a free audiobook that's yours to keep, and you help support this show. And if you're wondering where the money goes, we have an advertising policy. Clearly, it doesn't go into this show whatsoever.
Right.
I think it goes into it helps for the GoFundMe that will get Ian Reed a better headset mic. That's pretty much what we're trying for.
Where it actually goes is it covers like domain cost, overhead. SoundCloud's not cheap. That's where the money goes. It goes to make sure that we can provide you with all the cool stuff on a place that's not just YouTube.
Yeah. So with that, the Sharks unfortunately lose a barn burner. With, what was it? 6 goals scored in the third. The Sharks lose 7-4 to the New York Rangers. Can't buy a win at Madison Square Garden, but that's the way it rolls. So our apologies to Slurpee Jake. We just didn't have time to get you on tonight. So thanks for coming out, and we will see you all tomorrow evening. Keep it. What the hell does Eric say again?
Keep it real. Keep it fresh.
No, it's new. We got a new one this
Oh,
year.
sorry. Never mind.
Go ahead, Ian.
It's keep it real, keep it tight, keep it real tight.
There you go.